Good evening, one and all. Welcome back to our Third Age campaign as the Empire of Mordor. Last episode, we attempted to capture the mountain fort by getting a forced draw out to... Basically, we baited the troops inside the fort to defend one of the last Sylvan lords. We killed him in a valley, and unfortunately, for some odd reason, we were unable to occupy the fort at the time, but I reloaded the save and I was able to waltz right in with our good friend Ren the Unclean the Conqueror. It was very weird. So now we've garrisoned it with his army and he has his Lieutenant Lunluck standing by. The remainder of the Sylvans in the mountains have been scattered to the winds. I have no idea where they are. But You'd have to think that it sucks to be those guys right about now. They're stuck in the mountains. The last Sylvan stronghold in Thranduil's halls is a lifetime away in marching. And now we actually have a proper foothold to attack the entirety of the western part of the continent, beginning with good old Imladris, which, as you may recall, the High Elves are one of the factions that we have to destroy in order to win the campaign, so eventually we'll have to march out. Unfortunately, our troops within the mountain fort are pretty much ruined, so we'll have to send some reinforcements pretty quickly. Karis Galadin is actually pretty much up to snuff to serve as a recruitment center for the time being. Actually, capturing the mountain fort and sacking it and destroying buildings, etc. netted me about 8,000 gold coins, which I've promptly blown on building shrines and recruiting units and the like. And despite what this is telling you, we're actually making around 3,400 gold per turn. So we should be sitting pretty for the next couple turns, depending on recruitment, retraining, etc. I desperately need to get more garbage units up to my front lines. So we're going to be working double time in Dol Guldur and Ostian Gil to push/pump out units, specifically for Dwarf Lord of Terror, as well as Uvatha the Horseman, the Merciless, who are marching on Thranduil's halls. And they are pretty much ready to do it right about now. So we'll march up with our first army under Dwarf. Now, the thing is, I'm not sure if there's any armies around to ambush us. I'm pretty sure this is not the case. And it seems to me the only reinforcements are Imrathian here, and also Captain Istmaden. And then, of course, Thranduil himself up in this fort. He's just kind of bumming around there. I don't know, perhaps this is like a summer palace of some kind. It is currently, I want to say, spring, summer? Who knows? It's so hard to tell the season aside from... Oh, it's summer, of course. So it could very well be a summer palace, and he's just chilling up there, somehow unaware of the fact that his entire realm is about to crumble and be destroyed in front of him. Oh, well, we sort of overplayed our hand there because Uvatha the Horseman, ironically, being that he is mounted, does not have the movement points to keep up with Dwarf. And interestingly enough, we can actually do a forced draw out here as well, and I'm not sure if we would want to do that. There is a lot of heavy troops in this army. Archers, swordsmen, etc., etc. The woodland warrior is not such a problem. Yeah, I would really rather have done this with the reinforcements, and in fact, they're probably going to leave the city in an effort to crush us. I'm wondering if I can just grab Uvatha and plop him in that army, just in case we do get attacked. But unfortunately, for some reason, we don't have enough movement points to join that army, so I suppose he'll have to come in as reinforcements in the worst case scenario. That is, they leave the city to destroy us. Thranduil is at least, I want to say, 2 turns away. Now just to the west, Dwarf, or rather, good God, do not tell Dawn Death I said that. Oh God. He has yet to be angry with me. This entire campaign I've been misnaming him Dwarf, and he is somehow, he has not heard of my missteps, and I'm glad for it, because he would probably place his hooded robe, like the empty, vacuous hole of a face he has, he would just put that on top of my head and engulf it, and where my head would go, I'm not sure. Perhaps to another realm, a realm of death and darkness. We, weirdly enough, have a mission to assassinate Lofar, who is this Dwarven Lord right here, and he has a garbage army. It's just crossbows, catapults, and miners, plus pikemen, which is actually not a bad comp. The pikes and the crossbows and the catapults, now that I think about it, if you were to position the pikes properly, you could rain hell with the missile units. This is essentially what the dwarves in like Warhammer do, you know, crossbows and catapults, minus the pikes for whatever reason. Although I have a feeling that it's going to be pretty easy to destroy. In the hands of a competent human player, perhaps this would be a good comp. Okay, so he's got about 700 men in reinforcements as well. We'll fight this battle and that will cap off the episode, but for now, we'll just set up the conflict, as it were. Just a little tease. We'll come back to that later. I think we've addressed the mountain fort. As for Goblin Town, currently Adunafel the Quiet is just biding his time building an army. We have tons of units just wandering around, ready to join any which army. Shagthak is going to stay behind to garrison Bjorn's Halls, rather. But we do need some troops to assist him. This is why I'm saying we need garbage tier troops like Orkband and the like. I think Adunafel the Quiet actually has a huge amount of garbage tier units, but he's missing the heavily armored troops. There's a bunch to be found in Karis Galadin. I was going to grab them, move them forward. Orc Rangers, Archers rather, and we can, yeah, we'll move these guys up to Bjorn's Halls next turn, I suppose. They refuse to move. There we go. And they may or may not arrive in time. I'm not sure. I think we still got a Corahil, the Blind Sorcerer, moving to prove himself against Captain Guthmer, fresh from his kill of Curween the Profane. Now, as to what he's going to do after that, I think we want him to probably move to assist in the mountains. Perhaps he can go for Moria. I think that would be a good target for him. He's got a huge amount of trolls to potentially deal with any sorts of demonic fire demons, aka Balrogs, that we meet. They can, you know, sort of empathize with him. They'll find some common ground, you know. They're like, oh, we're big guys, you know. They don't build things for big guys. We have to bow down to get into doorways and things. And then, in this way, we can win the heart of the Balrog, and perhaps he will join our side. We've got some reinforcements heading to Foldberg. Sauron marching towards Gnird with his good friend Hormarath of Deer. I think we're just going to try to crack this nut wide open, because it is the last strong point, and I mean that. Adorn and Durwath are just woefully under-garrisoned. We could totally sidestep Gnird and go after these other two, but I would really like Sauron himself to destroy all of these men, and that would be it for Rohan. So basically, Rohan and the Sylvan Elves are done for in like 10 turns, essentially. And then, of course, we can start working on the dwarves, which Dawndeath himself is spearheading. We've got our good friend, was it Adunafel? Yes, in Bjorn's Halls. He's going to take Goblin Town, move up north to Hormarath's Folly. Oh, yes. I've forgotten all about this place. Well, where's Hormarath these days? Is he kicking around? Where did we put him? I have no fucking idea. Dorvar Uvatha, or is he in the... Yes, of course, he is in the west. After getting his ass kicked up north, he had to limp his way back to the front lines, back to friendly territory, and then we kicked him to the west. And weirdly enough, he's sort of in a position of power as the right-hand man of the Dark Lord himself. Weird how that works. You fall from grace, and now you have to reassert your passion and reassert your dominance. Okay, I think it's about time that we stop shit-talking and destroy Lofar. I don't think we want Lugdush to be controlled by the AI. He is our artillery officer, and unfortunately I feel as if he's just going to shred our troops with his friendly fire. So for the time being, we'll just leave him off the battlefield and destroy the dwarves with overwhelming numbers. I'm pretty sure my spiders and trolls can just run around those vault wardens, tear into the miners and the catapults and the crossbows. Good God. Was that a 12-man unit? It was. Lofar, what are you bringing? What are you doing here? You are far too young to be fighting these battles, my friend. Good God. It's like the end of World War II, where Germany was basically pressing into service old men and young boys. That's what the dwarves are doing here. They've sent a 35-year-old dwarf. That's nothing. I'm pretty sure that's like a teenager. It's the Hitler Youth of the Dwarven Empire. What is there? Is it just the dwarves? Is that their faction? Or is it the Iron Hills? I can't recall. Well, I think we ought to jump in onto the battlefield, and I will see you guys in just a moment. Well, we're fighting yet another battle in a big valley. Unfortunately for us, the dwarves have set up on this little plateau overlooking the valley that they have carefully chosen not to fight in, which, like I said, unfortunately for us. We're gonna have to meet them on this hillside, and it seems to me that the 700 dwarves are coming in on our flank. They're entering the battlefield just to our northeast. So I think what we can do is just set up here, something like that. We'll set up between the reinforcements and their main army, which I think is a really good idea. We could probably pepper them with missiles as well. We'll get our flanking force over here and our other flanking force over here. Now, Dawndeath and his beloved spiders will move quickly. Now, I'm not sure what these assholes think they're doing. I mean, if I were to enter the battle as reinforcements, I would choose, I think, not to do it from such a position. You are behind enemy lines, essentially. What's stopping these guys from just marching up the hill and coming, you know, down here? Well, I suppose, let's pretend that the scale of this battle was over days. We would just continuously march between the two armies, wouldn't we? Of course we would. Okay, let's see. Essentially, I think these are all just not good units, so we can easily swarm them if we get our troops set up properly. Let's see. I probably wouldn't even need to use... Okay, we're actually a lot closer to the dwarves than I thought we were. Look at this, they're charging us. What in the world? I thought they were firing at us a second ago. Maybe I was mistaken, but regardless, we will definitely be in position, I think, to keep them from each other. Let's get more on level ground. Unpause it, because we have no need for pausing things. We have no need, sir, to pause things. We will fight fight them on the beaches. Okay, they are actually firing at us with catapults. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. And that is not a direct hit on my archers, luckily enough. So, let's see, what are my troops doing? We are actually going to get charged pretty quickly if we're not careful. Let's pull these guys back ever so slightly. These dudes somehow are already in position. I don't know how the fuck they managed that, but we'll turn them and they can deal with these reinforcements for now, supported by Uvatha. Okay. And then the rest of our army, I think, can deal with the old dwarves. They are, in fact, getting ready to fire crossbows and shit. How rude. I think we can grab these 2 units and force the crossbows back, perhaps? It is all missile units, so yeah, let's do that. And perhaps we can bog them down. Look at this. These Dwarven warriors are just charging us immediately. Good God. Okay, well, I suppose... Huh, I don't know what to counter these guys with. We have spears... and more spears. And, ooh, interesting. Look at this. Okay, they're gonna roast a bunch of Morning Guard, or archers, rather. My Uruk archers. Okay, so we have some Dwarven warriors here. What to counter them with? I think we'll set up the Morning Guard. We'll get these Orc Band to take care of those miners for now. So is it these 2 units? They're marching forward to freak out those missile units. We want these guys to... Well, they're now in formation, I believe. Let's get them to charge forward. Something like this. Whatever, it's going to be a really shitty formation. The reinforcements are actually much farther away than I anticipated, so we could probably engage the main body of the dwarves, actually. Yeah, they've pulled themselves heavily out of formation here. Let's tie down the troops with some missile units. Man, these trees, though, are really bothering me. I can't really see what's going on here. Unfortunately, let's set up a pike line. Yep, do something like that. We'll borrow these Uruks, Alakai, rather. So we're attacking these miners, these Dwarven warriors. Both my units of Morning Guard are engaged here. Let's pull them away. We're gonna have to head uphill, rather. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be incredibly messy, I can tell. Incredibly messy already. Okay, let's get our general and our spiders to begin skirmishing, perhaps, against the cavalry, or rather the missile units of the enemy. Here they come now. Not you, assholes. So those are pikes, we'll want to avoid them. We nearly took a big old catapult bolt straight to Dawn Death's bodyguard. That would have been horrid. An absolute fucking living nightmare. Okay, so our... looks like our Alakai are somehow in combat with Dwarven miners. We've now got 2 units of halberds heading straight for these Vault Wardens. Okay, and the heart of their blob of troops. I think we can probably get our infantry to sneak in here. This is horrible. I have no fucking idea what's going on. We'll get the spiders to take care of the catapults, perhaps. Dawn Death himself is going to try to... I don't know, what is he going to do? Perhaps break these miners, I think, and then we can free up those units. I got my 5 Alakai who are going to charge the noblemen in the rear. That ought to be a good charge. Okay, so we now have these guys in play. Looks like my Orc Band are routing. It's these guys down here, way down here, isolated. But they did their duty. They just gummed up the works for a little bit. Dawn Death is chopping away at these miners. They're fighting to the death. We can retreat there. Now my Alakai, the 5 Alakai, batting those noblemen in the rear. Let's pull the spiders out. I think they are not doing so well. Dawn Death is going to charge downhill at these catapults. These Alakai are just doing dick all. We'll have to get the Urukai to come around and attack the... I think the old nobles here need some thrashing. We'll get the Alakai to hit the Vault Wardens in the rear. Dawn Death still hasn't broken those catapult dudes, but that's fine. Alright, where are the reinforcements at? These dwarf warriors are... Okay, we're gonna have troubles, I think, getting a hold of these reinforcements, unfortunately. Let's get some Uruks engaged. These two guys are gonna have to figure something out, I think. Man, yeah, this is this is stressful. I don't know what the fuck is going on. My Olokai, though, are smacking away at these Vault Wardens. We've lost an Olokai down here because they're fighting on their own, these Axemen of Erebor. Let's perhaps get them out of that situation. Okay, we need to get some better charges on the rears of these Dwarven units that are keeping me tied up. My archers, though, are firing at something, and I'm not sure what because all of my units are essentially engaged. I now have 2 units of Orc Band free. Let's tighten up that formation, bring them down here. Charge the fucking nobles again. Get my Orc Band re-familiarized with the dwarves. I've got all of my units engaged, I think, aside from these guys. I don't know what these guys are doing. They're doing their best. We're just suffering casualties here because of these crossbows. I think we've lost the spiders this battle, actually. They're probably done here until we get them oh, maybe missed the pikes. Get them retrained. Now let's get, I think we need to get Dawn Death involved with these crossbows. I didn't realize they were down there shooting up my shit. I still have Olokai tied up with these Axemen. I think we'll have to get Dawn Death involved there as well. Oh shit, there's still a catapult firing. Where? Right here. Okay, spiders, please. Yep, that was horrendously damaging to our good friend Dawn Death. We're lucky Dawn Death himself didn't get roasted. Look at that, a point-blank fucking shot. Oh god. Okay, we have to figure out what these dudes are doing. We've got 1 unit of Morning Guard, a unit of Raiders. Okay, they're gonna have to come around the flank, I think. Who is else not currently doing shit? It's my 2 units of archers. Let's move them out of the mix here. And this unit of Uruks still dealing with those Dwarven warriors. Now we've got quite a bit of shit going on here, actually. That's just fine. We'll let that continue for the time being. These crossbows are shaken. Let's disengage because that was a horrible fucking charge. Let's get the Orc Band to tie up the Wardens for the time being. We ought to surround these Wardens as well. Okay, now's the time we can charge the crossbows as they're running downhill. Hopefully we can get a proper charge on. We lost another Olokai, unfortunately. Shit, these crossbows are fucking pissing me off. They're getting another volley off. I think they killed a few Numenorians, but we've just broken that unit so we can move on to the next. We've apparently killed half of the dwarves, but they've done a third of our army in casualties. Looks to me like we just annihilated the old noble, and I was not paying attention and we just lost a unit of Olokai against these Vault Wardens. Fuck me. Oh god. Well, we'll go in on these Vault Wardens and we'll have to replace the Olokai at some point, I guess. Should have seen that coming though. Pikemen versus a big creature like that. The entire point of the pikes, I'm pretty sure, was to fend off cave trolls, so you know. As well as the like Axemen of Erebor with the big 2-handed axes. You know, they're not making those to just cleave regular old goblins in twain. You could do that with a fucking butter knife, a fruit knife, if you will, a paring knife. You don't need a massive axe to do it. Although Gimli proved just how effective it really was. Okay, so these Axemen of Erebor are apparently wavering. So if we were to get in there with our Olokai and our horsemen in a charge, I'm sure they've broken. Okay. So it looks to me that a lot of their line is crumbling right now. So we can probably run them down with all of our faster units. I think we need Dawn Death to instead take care of these crossbows really quickly. Let's see, we're still dealing with those warriors, those axe throwers, and we've just run off. No, you guys stay still, orc raiders. Okay, we've got 2 units of axe warriors there, axe throwers rather, and then a unit of warriors that's looking to me like it was ready to break. So they should be gone by the time we get back there. And we're just running off the rest of their force, Vault Wardens. Man, I wish this was a more traditional battle, because then I can actually tell what the hell's going on and utilize my troops effectively. I feel like really did a poor job this time with the loss of the Alakai, etc. But we did just kill. It was not Lofar, it was Captain Farrar. I'm not sure where Lofar has gone, actually. His unit routed a while back. We're still chasing those dwarf warriors. Okay, let's get the axe throwers taken out. Okay, Lofar is somewhere over here. But where would he be? Is that him? No. Or, alternatively, this is him right here. Aha! Okay, well, we'll stick the spiders on Lofar. Hopefully, that will do it. We've got some orc band kicking around, and I'm not sure who is left. It's just a unit of Vault Wardens, I think. Well, I'm a little hesitant to get Dawn Death charging those Vault Wardens, so we'll have to reassign what infantry we have left to deal with them, and then we'll just get Dawn Death. Oh, I think the Alakai can probably solve this problem. Although, like I said, the pikes and the old trolls, you know, not a great combination. Dawn Death, there's no one to run down, actually. I was going to say he can run down a bunch of dudes, but there's no one. So we'll get him reassigned to the old northeast here, where there's many more dwarves still alive and kicking. In fact, these dwarf... okay, look at that. I'm not sure how soldiers can particularly capture troops, aside from the old, you know, webbing them or biting them with venom, that sort of thing. I just can't foresee a spider being like, "Citizen, freeze, drop your weapons, put your hands up," that kind of thing. I mean, if they could, that would certainly be something. Although I suspect that with the intelligence of the spiders in the Lord of the Rings universe, it's entirely possible that they could threaten something. Threaten someone with death, or... oh god, they're throwing those axes like a motherfucker. Oh, I was hoping they'd get another volley off so we could see it firsthand, but it was not meant to be, I suppose. Okay, we're gonna set up a nice rear charge here. Oh, look at this, they can see Dawn Death lining up, and they know. His reputation goes before him. They can see the thirst for death in his eyes, and they just say, "Shit me, I don't want anything to do with that." Okay, we're going to quickly tear apart those axe throwers and then go in for seconds on the crossbows. I think they will be easy prey. There we go. Okay, we've lost nearly half of our force, but I think we'll have more than enough to move on to any of those dwarven strongholds. Unfortunately, we did lose those Alakai, but I suspect that we may recover them, possibly. I'm not sure exactly if that would be the case, but holy hell, would I be happy if it were. Okay, we lost 1,300 orcs, and unfortunately, we didn't heal any Alakai, so it looks to me like, holy shit, we actually lost all of the experience in that unit because it's dead, that's why. Okay. Well, it was a dream, Arwen. The Alakai were never going to heal those casualties. Oh god. Okay, well, we've destroyed Lofar. We've executed his men. We failed the assassination mission, and we've pushed... oh no, not a single dwarf was able to flee from the battlefield. Very interesting. Okay, so now Dondeth is able to quite freely besiege Rakiburg, and luckily we have the troll catapults to allow us to do this in one turn. I think what we need to do is get into position. We'll merge our orc band, like so. We'll move up the catapults into Dondeth's army, like so. Get our lieutenant into position, and stick... Okay, we can't stick any units into... Well, we could have got him to move into Dondeth's army proper, but it was not meant to be. Okay. We can very easily assault the walls now. There's 3 units in the fucking place with Gloin at the helm. Fucking Gimli's dad, guys. Ugh, it's a rough one. I'm a little concerned about Thranduil's Halls. Mountain Fort, we're just gonna be chilling for now. A few more turns until we march on the Goblin Town, and then Sauron himself is going to be attacking Ginyard. Ugh, 2 turns from now, good lord. Well, at the very least, this allows us the opportunity to hand some reinforcements to Hormarath. You know, the armies aren't moving so quickly as to not receive reinforcements like the vast majority of our other conquests. But anyway, everyone, I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, always appreciated. As always, my name is Incoherence. I will see you guys later.